Hello everyone, Underdog Chris here, bringing you all another anime video essay. This time it's on another controversial topic. We will be taking another look at the Naruto series and the character Sakura Haruno once more, particularly during this one scene at the 5 Kage Summit arc. Yeah, you all know probably which one I'm talking about, the one manga panel that gets called the worst panel in history or one of the worst anime scenes in history on a weekly basis. Honestly, hearing about all these bad faith narratives and takes week to week finally pushed me to put my own hat into the ring and analyze this scene for myself. I'll put in a warning now that this is actually going to be a full-on rant video with quite a bit of negativity, so if that's not the style of content that you'd like to watch, you're more than welcome to click off and come back during one of my future uploads. But with that being said, I'll be getting started. I want to set the framework and the setting as to why this fake confession happened in the first place. Before we can delve into the actual confession itself, I do want to try and give as much context as I possibly can because it's really important. So, Naruto had just beaten Pain, the supposed leader of the Akatsuki at the time, but the village ended up in shambles. Tsunade, the 5th Hokage, in her effort to save as many people as possible, had fallen into a coma, causing Danzo Shimura, one of Konoha's biggest and shadiest schemers, to take up the position of acting Hokage. And with this, he declared that Sasuke was a rogue shinobi that needed to be hunted down and killed. Tsunade had given Team 7 the luxury and the leisure of trying to bring Sasuke back to the village peacefully, but with Danzo, who was a lot more rigid and strict, that was no longer possible. So Naruto and Sakura felt that they were very pressed for time in trying to save him, especially after finding out from the Cloud Ninja that Sasuke was working with the Akatsuki and had captured the A-Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee, though we all know that Killer Bee actually escaped, but at the time, nobody else did. So a 5 Kage summit was called by the Raikage in regard to the situation. Sasuke would be the topic at hand and the Raikage would call for his execution. Danzo was on his way to the summit, trying to set up his own schemes which ultimately fail anyway. Meanwhile, Naruto, Kakashi, and Yamato were also on their way to the summit alongside Sakura, Rock Lee, Sai, and Kiba, though before they all headed out, and after Karui beat the ever-living daylights out of Naruto for not selling Sasuke out to the Cloud Ninja, Sai had a conversation with Sakura on how she ended up placing a burden onto Naruto with the whole Sasuke ordeal, and had basically guilt-tripped her into thinking it was entirely her fault that Naruto was obsessed with bringing Sasuke back to the village, which then has us look back into part 1, where she was begging Naruto with her once-in-a-lifetime request to bring Sasuke back. Though I would argue that the focus shifted away from Sakura's promise long ago, as Naruto was already dead set on bringing Sasuke back to Konoha, whether it be kicking and screaming, no matter what anybody said to him. Sakura, of course, still had the resolve to bring him back herself, but with Sai basically emotionally ambushing and guilt-tripping her, she's not exactly in the right state of mind at this time. I don't think he did this maliciously though, as in meeting Naruto, he was only just beginning to process what it was like to have friends and have emotions. So in these newfound feelings, and with Naruto being one of his first friends, Sai probably got a little emotionally charged and defensive, and not knowing what to do with all this, he decided to unintentionally guilt-trip Sakura into thinking that everything that was happening in regards to Sasuke was her fault. Although there's not only that, there's also the fact that Naruto had been crushing on Sakura for quite some time, without her really feeling the same way about him. Though that's not to say that Sakura didn't care about him. She loved Naruto, in a platonic friendship sort of way though, and she really does care about him. Anyone else saying otherwise has clearly not read the story or just willfully ignored it. Sai basically gaslit Sakura into outright causing that confession. He quite literally calls her a curse mark and makes her think that she is so much of a burden to Naruto, that Sai, for all intents and purposes, calls Sakura the lowest of the low, and states that Naruto was doing all of this because he loves Sakura, that he's doing all the Sasuke stuff for her, and that she should be grateful. Let's take a look at all this for a second in Sakura's perspective. Sasuke has been gone from the village in the evil clutches of Orochimaru for 3 years, which she feels awful about. Her teacher Kakashi had just died during the Pain arc, although he was revived at the end, and her other mentor Tsunade, someone who basically taught her everything she knew and who she looked up to, was in a coma with no indication of waking up anytime soon. Then, the cherry on top, the icing on the cake, is Sai basically calling her a curse mark to Naruto, which causes her to break down and cry. So, if anyone's looking for who to blame for that false confession even taking place, I would look no further than Sai. yet people will say that he was a good friend and did nothing wrong, or that he put Sakura in her place, when in all honesty, he jumped into the situation all gung-ho and quite literally meddled into an affair that he had no business sticking his nose in. Heck, Sai even says himself he does not know the full extent of what Sakura even said to Naruto, or how that all went down back then, which honestly does show this was not his business. Despite being Naruto's friend now, Sai was not there during part 1, and does not know the extent of the bond that the old Team 7 had formed with Sasuke before he went to the dark side. Not to mention, that same Sai who everyone calls Friend of the Year, not that long ago almost left Sakura to die during the Tenchi Bridge arc, and pretty much antagonized Naruto for most of that arc. Not to mention his scheming with Danzo as well. Yet the fandom tends to completely disregard all of this and absolve him of all that because, oh, he took another dunk on Sakura, so that makes him based. He was tired of her BS, or all sorts of bad narratives, and look, I like Sai and his development. I actually think he's pretty underrated, but at the same time, the fandom does not really hold him and his guilt tripping accountable during the 5 Kage Summit arc in the slightest, and push all their hatred onto Sakura. Speaking of the Tenchi Bridge arc, Sakura saw firsthand how Naruto wanting to bring Sasuke back was literally destroying him. He went into the four-tailed state of the QB and was on a rampage against Orochimaru. Now, people want to clown on her for jumping in and getting hit, and people just want to say that she didn't listen to Yamato or that she was dumb, but what they actually miss is the fact that Sakura was trying so desperately to calm Naruto down. She saw how much of a physical, mental, and emotional strain this was putting on Naruto that it made him go berserk. She even says, "Naruto, we don't have to chase Sasuke anymore, I'll do it myself, just please stop, that's enough." And when you watch this scene in the anime, you can really tell just how heartbroken she is, and you can hear it in her voice, due to the fact that she's seeing one of her best friends in such a broken state that he's basically an unrecognizable monster. And I do want to actually touch upon Naruto himself for a little. I'm not saying that he's not gone through his own fair share of struggles, and I do acknowledge that he did have a panic attack due to all of this, but at the same time, he's also partly to blame for how this all went down. Now, I know what you're all thinking, that I'm probably just capping at this point, but hear me out. We all know that Sai came to his own, not so accurate conclusions on this whole Sasuke thing. However, at the same time, it's not like Naruto himself was being the best communicator either. Naruto told Sai some basic surface level stuff about Sasuke during the Tenchi Bridge arc. However, Naruto himself has stated quite a few times that he would shoulder the burden of this on his own. He would often shut himself out from everyone else and was not exactly open about his struggles. I would say that Naruto had a decent support system in at least Tsunade, Sakura, Kakashi, and Sai, yet he continually shuts them out to go about this on his own when he's been warned about it countless times that it's not necessarily the best option. But instead, Naruto was rejecting everyone's offers to help and brushed them aside. In fact, Itachi, when he was revived through Edo Tensei in the 4th Ninja War, even tells Naruto this very thing. It's best to not do these things alone, and remember that his friends will always be there to support him, which includes Sakura and the other friends he's made in Konoha. As I've said before though, people will gloss over and completely miss the fine details. All of this clearly explains Sakura's behavior throughout the 5 Kage Summit arc pretty darn well. She's operating under the guilt that Sai put her under, but now we get to the confession itself. When it comes to Sakura's fake confession to Naruto, from what I've seen, a lot of people think she was this awful manipulative human being for doing this, or that she's emotionally abusive. While I do think Sakura could have probably handled things a lot better during this arc, calling her all these names or basically making her out to be this villainous young woman is a downright slanderous accusation and a total mischaracterization of her. However, jokes have also been made about her, such as saying that she belongs to the streets. The issue with jokes like that and the slander is that then you'll get clout chasers who really don't know anything about the situation and are already biased against Sakura, inserting their 2 cents, making memes, and then some uninformed, unsuspecting people are gonna see these memes and bad takes and jokes and run with them, thinking they're accurate. I've seen it happen firsthand with friends of mine online that came up with these conclusions about Sakura because they are easily influenced by that widespread and misinformed public opinion of her. So I've been hearing the phrase media literacy is dead for quite a while now, and honestly, I actually agree with it. Media literacy could not be any more dead, especially when it comes to the character of Sakura and this scene right here. Despite having read the manga or watched the anime, I feel like Sakura's development and character arc has went over a lot of Naruto fans' heads due to their biased hatred of her already, and I think it's downright ridiculous. So she confesses to Naruto, all because of Sai, and seeing the strain this is putting Naruto under, she's thinking, okay, Sai told her all this, and she has seen Naruto struggling with this issue in the past, so maybe, just maybe, if she tells Naruto that she loves him and to stop chasing Sasuke, he'll come back to the village. Naruto will come back peacefully and no longer get hurt for her sake or for Sasuke's sake. He'll be safe and out of harm's way. Sakura then tells Naruto to forget the promise he made to her, basically wanting him to stop carrying the supposed burden she imposed onto him. She wants Naruto to prioritize his own self-care and worry about himself for once, and she tells him that there's no point in putting himself in danger for Sasuke, since he's lost himself in the darkness, and it seemed like he really was on the path of no return. And she even saw as much when Sasuke later on tells Sakura to kill Karin if she wants to join him. Despite people thinking Sakura was so obsessed over Sasuke to the point that she would, Sakura didn't end up going through with it. She's not that kind of person. Though, to get back to the confession, Naruto even says himself, it's not just about the promise that he made to Sakura all those years ago anymore, and honestly, it didn't even matter at that point, it didn't mean much to him. He wanted to rescue Sasuke for his own sake, having just been told the truth by Tobi not that long ago about the Uchiha clan's demise. Naruto seems to be trying to understand where Sasuke's hatred is coming from, so thinking he can level with him mentally, he wants to try and bring him back. But to reiterate one final time, Sakura didn't confess because she's some manipulative mastermind or that she's trying to flirt with him for personal gain. She literally confessed because she was trying her hardest to get Naruto to stop destroying himself. At this point, if there's nothing I've said or quoted directly from the source material that's managed to convince any of the naysayers or the Sakura haters of that, then there's nothing else I can really do to help them. And with all that being said, that's about it for today's video. This was another controversial topic, and I will admit I got a little negative and ranted more than I usually would, often repeating myself countless times. However, I do feel like with this topic I want to hammer the point home as many times as I can, that these disingenuous takes on the character of Sakura Haruno for the whole confession thing are just not it at all, and people with these bad takes completely missed the point just to take another dunk on her. I just hope that the next time you see a post that says this is the worst manga panel of all time, that you're at least able to stop, look back on all the context given, and take all that into consideration before just blindly agreeing or hopping on the bandwagon. I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have an amazing day.